So I was tagging along with my friend's dog who is like 9 or 10 month old, obviously large breed mix. And as we were getting out of the car and going into the dog park, we ran onto a dog that I guess for the purposes of this, I will call a chocolate lab mix because it kind of looks like that, but who knows what it is really. And the dogs almost met on leash, but didn't. And then that dog started barking and kind of targeting her dog, but they weren't interacting directly. They never actually met. They were quite a ways away on leash. And then, as you can see here, the owner has her dog off leash in the holding area, and that dog's still really fixated on my friend's dog and barking. And we pace it pretty nice so that she can have time to catch her dog and move her dog. The chocolate lab mix's owner move that dog into the general group. And then even in the general group, it's still pretty fixated on my friend's dog. So here's that chocolate lab mix's owner. The dog's barking at us, and she's trying to catch her dog so she can get her, and I believe it's a her, into the larger play group before my friend's dog comes into the holding area. And both owners were pacing this really nicely because I have to say that it's really normal for dogs when they're all wound up about to go in a dog park, especially since a lot of dogs that do well at the dog park are leash reactive, to make enemies with a dog on leash right before they go in the dog park. This happens in dog daycare the same way. You have dogs going in to the lobby to go down to daycare, and if they meet in the lobby, can become enemies and then cannot be in the playroom together. And it might be exacerbated by the fact that my friend's dog is pretty big and he's a goofy adolescent male, so he kind of has like a beat me up flag on his head. And this lab mix might be a little intimidated by him, or just since she seems like a sassy lady, a little more interested in straightening him out, which is normal. Here's that chocolate lab mix still kind of fixated on my friend's dog, even though she's now inside the playgroup. And our mom's working on getting her away from the fence before he comes in, which is great. My friend, who has quite a bit of dog experience, is pacing her dog and making him settle down and pay attention to her in the holding area before she puts him in with the other dogs. And she's using treats in the holding area, but not after she comes out of the holding area. And this gives her dog a chance to settle down, but also gives the other dogs in the dog park a chance to kind of get over him being there. She gets a chance to read the dogs before she goes in. And as you can see, he has a really smooth entrance after that, where he's not being mobbed by dogs, where he kind of just meanders right in, and then everybody greets him organically, not in a giant group. So here is that chocolate lab mix interacting in the group, and it wants really to interact with this golden retriever. So you can see there's some goofy hopping around, which is usually an indication that it's a little riskier because the dogs aren't comfortable in each other's space. It's a little fast and intense, and the dogs are not comfortable sharing each other's space. So showing that clip again, you'll notice this dog, the chocolate lab mix, has only been in the dog park for a little bit, that its kind of high energy vibe is attracting a lot of dogs. So there's a lot of dogs participating in this interaction besides the two that want to be, which is that golden and that chocolate lab mix. The lab mix owner redirects her dog, and she goes zooming off and gets chased by a whole group of dogs as well. And here that same dog's getting kind of intense in a group of dogs, and the owner redirects her and sends her out to run around. And I intentionally set this footage up like this because I wanted to let you formulate your own opinions, because people tend to get, especially trainers and stuff, really judgy with people like this and with dogs like this. But this dog reminded me of a dog I would normally have in daycare, where it does kind of come in hot and sometimes can be a little rough in its interactions with other dogs for the first 20 minutes that it's in a play group. But usually it doesn't mean any harm, and it might bring the energy up a little or cause an issue when matched with the wrong dog. But generally there aren't any issues. And this dog was in the play group for quite a while, and there were no dog fights or anything like a dog fight. There was some kind of odd encounters that were a little intense. The owner of this chocolate lab mix does a really good job of redirecting her dog and interrupting it. She knows her dog's a little intense, and every time the dog gets intense, she catches it and sends it out to do something else. So she's actually doing a really great job, even though she has an intense dog, of A, not being afraid of her dog and her dog's behavior, even though this owner was obviously aware that it was intense, B, redirecting her dog to do other things, so reading her dog and redirecting it, and then C, like sticking with it, because she is actually teaching this dog better social skills by taking it to the dog park and working with it here, rather than finding that experience too intense or finding like weird looks from other dog people too much and giving up. She's doing a really good job with her dog here.